What's up guys, Brian from Victory 4x4, back working on the Tundra. Finally, really excited to show you guys our new Strike bumper and show you how to install it. Let's dig in. If you're installing a winch or a light bar, it makes a lot of sense to go ahead and remove the grill first before you get started. We can put the grill back on once the bumper is installed, and that way we'll have access to be able to get all of our wiring up under the hood for the light bar and for the winch. If you're going to do that with a 10mm socket, there's 4 bolts that go through here, and then a flathead screwdriver. There's these clips right here. You just pop the clips up and pull them out like that. Now if your truck is equipped with the radar and the grill, you're going to want to pop this little panel off right here, like so. You're going to unplug the sensor right here and leave that disconnected. So when you have everything removed, you're going to kind of pull up on the grill to pull it out. These plastic things that hold the bolts in have like a hat that the grill sits into. So if you try to pull it straight out, it won't happen. Just kind of pull it up like that. And then once you have it out, you're going to pull the pop clips out off the bottom of your grill like that. So now we're going to go ahead and install the light bar and the cube lights out here for the fog lights. We have 22 inches between our mounting tabs, so a standard 20-inch light bar is normally what you're going to fit in there. But you have 22 inches mount to mount, just so you know. You may have to use some washers to make up a little of the space on both sides. That's not a big deal. On this side, we're using the XL Dually, which is a 4x4 light. You can also use a Baja Designs XL light, and there are other companies that sell large cubes like this. And those guys are just going to install like right here onto the tabs. I'm gonna go ahead and put my fog lights in, and then I'll put the light bar in. Okay, so what I have here are the proximity sensors or the ultrasonic sensors that go on the front corners of the bumper. And what I have going on here is I got a little bit of situation. This is a good sensor. It has the little plastic retainers right there. They're still intact. And what those do is they clip into the bumper and they hold into the bumper. On my other side, my truck was actually already set up this way, but you can see where all the clips had been broken off that, and they were using this retainer to snap in and hold the sensor in. What we found is this retainer is actually a rear sensor retainer. So what I'm going to do is actually use 2 of these retainers on the front. They're $5.99 a piece. You can find them online. We have the part number on our website. You can still use them with this clips like this. The sensors are just going to be a little more loose in the bumper, most likely after you pry them out of the factory bumper. So this is definitely a more secure way. I'll show you how to install both. All right, the first one we're going to install is the one that still has the plastic clips on it like that. So we're going to just feed the sensor through like so, and then just kind of clip it into place. Now you can see it's still a little bit loose in the hole. It's just because moving these things in and out over time, these things start to wear out. So that's where I was saying that this clip is a better option. So I'll show you how to put that in. I'll put this guy in here for now, snap it in, I'll do the other side. All right, so this is the sensor that has all the pieces that are broke off of it. I'm gonna go ahead and put it through the hole like so, and put that there. And now I'm gonna take this rear retaining bracket clip and just snap it into place like so. As you can see, now the sensor is way more secure. So I'm guessing that at some point my truck had this replaced and Toyota used these retainers to hold it in. I'm not really sure else why I have one and one, but good for us. Now we know. So the last thing I need to do to get this ready to install is install the winch. And as you can see here, I'm using a Warn Xeon. This is a 12S model, and I've used their solenoid relocation thing. So it actually pulls the solenoid pack off and then gives you all this mess to actually run it up and put it underneath your hood. What winches fit in this bumper? You're going to get a lot of different options as long as they don't have an integrated solenoid. If they have the integrated solenoid pack on the top, it's most likely not going to fit. Some may fit if they're a smaller winch, but you also have to remember that you're trying to clear a light bar in front as well as fit the winch and get it all underneath without having to trim any of the core support. Now, if you do end up with a bigger winch and you do run into a couple of issues when you go to put it on the truck, you can always end up trimming the core support bracket, which is right here. So sometimes you can either take a hammer and hammer this back, or you can actually clearance it with a grinder. Most of the time it's not needed, but if you need a little space, that's where you can get it. So my factory bumper was cut up when we did the Blitz install video, so I'm not able to show you a full uninstall of the factory bumper, but it's pretty easy. You're gonna have these 3 bolts here and 1 there, same thing on this side. You're gonna retain that hardware, and then down here you're gonna have some factory tow hooks. We're gonna pull those 2 bolts out there and these 2 bolts out over here, and we're gonna retain those as well. The bumper is actually gonna slide on over these and mount through under there. Another thing we do in the Blitz install video, we'll go ahead and cut to that in a second, but we're actually going to install these spacers that actually push this cooler kind of up and back and out of your way. So when you have a larger winch, you actually get the clearance you need. So we'll go ahead and cut that in now. When we go to put our winch in here, we're actually gonna run into this cooler, so we want as much space as we can get here. So it's gonna take a little finagling. There's 2 bolts right here and here, and then we have a couple of brackets that move it back. Because of the way the hard lines go through here, you're gonna kind of have to bend it a little bit. If you've never bent a hard line like this before, kind of take it easy. We're just trying to make this thing essentially sit flush with this front header. So anyways, it's a 12 millimeter bolt. You're gonna remove this on both sides of this cooler. First, we're gonna take this one side out. We're gonna leave that side for now. All right, so we're gonna take that bolt out, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of push in on the cooler like so. Okay. Now I have the bracket, which is going to go in here, so I can go ahead and get this one started. I'm going to use that factory bolt, wherever it is here, back in the bottom here, and then we supply a bolt for the top. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started. Okay, like so. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and put the bolt in. It's a button head bolt and a flange nut. Okay guys, so I took the bolt out on this side. I determined that it was easier to actually put this bracket in if this side's not even connected, because you can kind of move it up out of the way. So disregard previous instructions to lightly install that. Go ahead and put this bracket in like so. All right, and now we're gonna bring this bracket back down and we're gonna install this bolt again. Next, we're gonna take and kind of push this line in like so that we can bolt this together. All right, so now we can go back to our wrench here and we're gonna go ahead and tighten this up. You're gonna kind of leave this cooler kind of where it lies with these brackets here, and we're gonna go ahead and get it tight. So with everything tightened down and the offsets in here, you can see we're still not quite completely flush here, so we want to push this back some more. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of push on it like so. And you're going to see we're going to be moving this cooler back. Now you want to make sure that you're not hitting anything. So you don't want to be hitting this header. You definitely don't want to be hitting the frame. You want to make sure that it's clear through here. And if you need to, you can kind of pull these lines a little bit. Make sure they're not touching each other. Make sure they're clear through this hole right here so they're not rubbing on there. And as you can see now, if you want to come in, you can kind of see where I'm at. I got a little bit of space between the lines. I'm clear through here, I'm clear over that, and I'm clear here. I could probably stand to bring this out just a little bit more. Like so. And now we're good to go. So now we're gonna go ahead and install the winch in our bumper and get that prepped and ready to install. So I have everything ready. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the truck. Granted, this thing weighs about 120 pounds empty, and a winch, everything else about 200 pounds. So make sure you lift with your legs, not your back, and make sure you find a dumb friend to give you a hand. Just don't tell them how heavy things are. So I put one nut on each side just to kind of hold it in place. The bumper is off the vehicle as far as I can get it off without it falling off, because what I want to do is I'm going to fish all my wires up, and then I'm going to put my grill back on, especially if you have tube work. If you don't have tube work, you can go ahead and bolt the whole bumper in and put your grill on at the end. But anyways, it's a lot easier if you can actually pull the bumper out, snap the grill in. If you reach straight through this hole and all the way back to your mount, you're going to find a stud. They're going to be one on each side. And we're going to use those factory bolts that we removed. Push your bumper back into place. And then push your hand in here. Get that started. And these are 14 millimeter. You already have it out from when you took it off. And we're going to go ahead and put these in and tighten these all the way down. All right, so now the bumper's bolted on good and tight. We're gonna go ahead and wire our fog lights, wire our light bar, finish hooking up the winch, and then hook up our wires for our proximity sensors, and we're all done. So our Strike bumper is available in several different configurations for the 3rd gen Toyota Tundra. That's 2014 to present model year. We have options for with or without the tube work, as well as steel or aluminum. It's kind of your pick and choose on what you're looking to get. We also offer powder coating or bare. If you have any questions or you want to order one of these suckers up, give us a call, 269-353-1184, or shoot us an email at info@victory4x4.com. And guys, I hope to see you on the trail.